how far they may have fallen.
Yeah, this is one of those moments. That's not a canon event, but it's one of those moments where a canon event. It's like where I don't know. It's help me explain this, Ross.
So you talked about Spider-Man a moment ago. Spider-Man's Peter Parker's canon event was Uncle Ben dying. It's basically just like a formative event.
Okay. So there you go. I saw that TikTok once.
Spoiler, Ross, by the way.
Yeah, I know. God, let's watch the show first. Jeez. So this is when I realized, though, man, we're not thought of very highly around the world. I went and saw the Bet Online odds for the year. The Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have longer odds to win the NFC than Chicago. And Minnesota, who is starting a rookie quarterback that they may or may not be trying to trade.
I'm sorry. You cannot be upset that Minnesota is ahead of Dallas in the odds. That was a 14-win team last year.
I know.
With a totally different quarterback.
Right, but we're talking...
And a total mystery starting.
Okay, even still, do you think that Darnold is 7 games better than McCarthy? I don't think... I think Kevin O'Connell's going to get whatever he gets out of those guys. And Dallas is the one that... Dallas lucked into, I feel like, 7 wins last year. That was more like a 5-win team.
These are your odds to win the NFC. Philadelphia at 3-1.
Your total disrespect of quarterbacks Dak missing time. I don't want to do this. I really don't. I said this to myself the other day while driving home.
Do it.
I don't want to go too far in because Dak did not play well, but the Dak Prescott disrespect, the total memory loss of everyone around here, including a lot of people in this building. Kevin Hagelin, I'm talking to you too. But Bobby, for this show, that Dak Prescott missed all those games, it blows my mind. And we're just judging the Cowboys with Cooper Rush as if Dak didn't miss the games.
Yeah. What did he miss, 9 games? That's a lot.
I mean, come on.
He did miss 9 games.
That is an instant elimination for your season.
Okay.
You're automatically out.
No doubt.
Yeah, you got to remember, he was a quarter off the field and he was seen on camera saying, "We effing suck." Like they
so
suck.
What?
So they suck.
Okay, and they can and teams can change and get a little bit better. So you want me to totally forget the year before when he was second in MVP? You just want me to hold on to I can't believe I'm fighting with you for Dak Prescott. So we totally just dismissed the awesome season he had 2 years ago, and I'm just supposed to have... Do I think they would have made the postseason last year with him continuing to play the games? No, but I think that's as bad as the entire football team could have played with a defense that was also adjusting to Zimmer.
Yeah, I think the only game that's maybe different is Cincinnati. That's about it.
Okay, well,
right. So maybe.
So fine, that's a random guess.
I mean, I don't know. If you guys thought they were awesome at 3-5 before Dak went out,
no,
okay.
They
were an awful. They were an awful.
You're manipulating things.
I'm not manipulating anything.
Yes,
they were a bad football team last year. They're a bad football team right now. That's what they are.
If Dak well then you can't have it both ways in terms of thinking he's so good. If he plays,
I think Burrow's good. They missed the playoffs too.
If he plays 17 games, what's their record next year?
Right now they're an 8-win team.
Okay.
All right.
I'll come up with something.
Put it on the board. Let's put it on the board.
Well, it could change with the draft.
I'm gonna put it in his bank account.
Yeah, there we go.
Actually, I'm gonna take it from his bank account.
You are gonna put it in there, a deposit.
Yeah, right.
Shan deposit.
Like all of our last things.
We've never made a bet. What are you talking about?
The other thing that it kind of triggered with me is that they're just basing a lot of these on just the quarterbacks. Like in the AFC, it's Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, Cincy, Chargers, Houston. They just took the 6 best quarterbacks in the AFC and they put them there, right?
Which you should agree with.
Which I do agree with. And in the NFC, tell me if they did the same thing. Philadelphia at 3-1, Detroit at 4-1. They have San Fran as the third. San Fran has completely already punted on this season. They have gotten rid of everybody. They have gotten rid of 11 starters from last year's team.
If the Cowboys and Niners played tomorrow on a neutral field, what would the spread be? And who would you take?
I don't know. I mean, they don't play well against San Fran.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that San Fran... I would think right now the Cowboys and San Fran are probably record-wise the same. Okay. San Fran's come grossly back to the pack. I think most people agree their window's closed.
If it was played tomorrow, given where their roster's at right now, Dallas probably wins. Like right now. Just because San Francisco has lost people all over their, like, all levels of the offense and defense.
So San Fran's third. Washington is fourth at 8-1. Then it's Green Bay at 10-1 and the Rams at 10-1. Then comes Minnesota at 14-1. Then Chicago at 16-1. And Tampa at 16-1.
Wow. Minnesota, Chicago, and Tampa all above the Cowboys. And it's not by a little.
It's not by a little. Those are 14 and 16-1. And then you drop to the Cowboys at 28-1.
Whoa.
And then Atlanta and Seattle and Arizona at 33-1.
Ooh, so they disagree with DeMarcus Lawrence.
Like that, this was a troubling.
Now I will
thing
point.
to see.
I will point something out here, and I was Bobby 4 minutes ago. I'll be RJ right now in Bizarro World. What you would usually say in this, and what I have learned from these types of odds from Vegas, we got to pay attention to the sucker bets.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago is arguably the biggest sucker city in terms of all of gambling in the entire country.
They absolutely are.
Will's Chicago buddy was sitting at that bar that night going to me, he's like, you think the Bears could win the Super Bowl next year, right?
Right.
It's like, you do?
I think of any city in the whole country, Chicago is willing to take their money and light it on fire, maybe to match the rest of their city. And San Francisco's up there too.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be some suckering here with San Francisco and Chicago.
So when we do, we get our metrics.
Every year the Bears are put up there.
Every year. We get our metrics from our BetMGM podcast, which that's the number 2 college football betting podcast in the world.
Wow.
Out of 3.
Out of 3. And it might actually be out of 2. I don't know.
Is it
might
out of
actually
3
be
or
out of
2?
But the metrics show, like, Chicago is like we're our number 1 listening on it. None of us are from Chicago. It's Memphis, Pittsburgh, and DFW.
Right.
Like, none of us are from Chicago.
Yeah.
That's our number 1 spot. And it's just because they're just degenerate gamblers there.
Now,
apparently.
does that account for 16-1 versus 28-1? Probably not.
No, and the problem that I have with this, and not even a problem, but what concerns me is the Cowboys are usually overvalued on the plus because they have so many fans. So the Vegas would not want to have a big liability on the Cowboys, because if you have a big liability on the Cowboys, that could completely ruin the bottom line for your year.
I'm seeing Kevin O'Connell brilliance for 14-1 justification and Ben Johnson hype for Chicago 16-1.
Look, I don't have a problem with Philadelphia, with Detroit being the 2 favorites. I mean, they were the 2 best teams in the conference last year. I have no problem with that.
Well, good. What a hot take.
Washington, that's a hype one. Just like, Houston.
Everyone's going to have them second in the division.
Everyone's going to have them second in the division.
We need a CJ step back there.
Yes, that's probably he's not going to have, I wouldn't think, the same year he had last year. The league is going to adjust to him. They're not going to win all the close games like they won this year.
The thing with Daniels, though, that might make it harder to adjust than Stroud is the running. A little bit more dual threat versus CJ just dropping back.
Yeah, the league adjusted to Robert Griffin III, and Robert Griffin III had injuries. The league has still never adjusted really to Lamar Jackson. So if Jaden Daniels is more Lamar Jackson and that sort of ability with his leg, like, they're not going to adjust to that, and he's just going to have success. That's what remains to be seen right here. But yeah, Stroud, I think, is a different case because of what he does.
All right, so that's Vegas having the Cowboys beneath. I don't know if I've gone into a season in the last 5 years as stunned as where they are in the conference with the teams above them as this list right here from Bet Online.
No, I haven't either. And
Chicago.
I keep coming back to the 2014 season where we had the meeting, the big meeting we had. You, me, Spittle was in there. Right? It was the big, and it was about the 8-8, the Cowboys over under.
Oh, well, he went to Vegas?
He went to Vegas, and we were thinking, man, they're not going to win 8 games. This team's terrible. Romo's always hurt, or they're in transition, and bam, they go 12-4. Like, that's not, that's not going to happen
because of Dak.
No, it's because of Romo. It's 2014.
Hey, I'd have Dallas way lower on those odds than you guys. I would have them lower on those odds than Vegas does.
But the difference is like that was hype the other way. This is not going to happen. Like, this is not a. I feel the same. Like, I don't see how they can be a playoff team right now.
You don't see how they can be
right now with the Ross. Like, I don't trust Dak's health.
But if I told you he played 17 games, what would you have their record as?
If he played 17 games, I think that yes, I would put them there. I just don't trust that he can.
No, but what's the win total if he plays
Health
17?
included? Health is 100%. 10 wins.
10 wins. 877-881-1053. Franklin Franco injury attorney text line here on DFW Sports Station. And then Bill Barnwell trying to use some of our leftover $40 million to spend.
He's looking at the best fits for the unsigned players. The first thing I do when I see one of these is I just go Control or Command F and type in Cowboys. Right? You get the you find it, right?
Oh.
And the first one there, Amari Cooper. Raiders, Patriots, Cowboys are his ideal landing spots. The next one on the list that they have to the Cowboys, Stefon Diggs. Diggs is Jets, Cowboys, and Patriots. I don't want to be connected in any way to the Jets.